Howdy, folks. Hope you're doing okay. This video I'm filming later than I initially had anticipated. Sorry, cat hair in my mouth. Because this is essentially birthday books, and my birthday is November 15th, and it is now December 20th, 21st. But yeah, that's okay. I'm sure you know now that I kind of just do things in my own time. And this is the time that I was able to do it. I also had to wait for, most of the books from Indigo to come in. I had one that was ready to be picked up pretty much right away, and I imagine that's because it was already in stock at the store versus the other ones that I had to get from the warehouse. So this is a combination of books from Indigo as well as Amazon. I know Amazon got it out, but there's, a lot of indie authors sell there. So it is what it is, and I got gift cards for both of these places for my birthday. And yeah, so I think every single book except for one in this box. This was 2 boxes before, obviously, but it is very, very heavy. I'm pretty sure all books except for one are explicitly queer books. I believe the one book that's not explicitly queer is still set in a fairly queer normative world. But yeah, I just wanted gay-ass books for my birthday. And so that's what I got myself because I deserve it. A couple of these I have already read, and some of them are books that I've been really wanting for a long time, and I'm so happy to finally own. And then some of them are just ones that I picked out from my very long list of book recommendations on my Instagram that I have as a saved list. And I just kind of scrolled down and was like, which one of these do I want to get right now? So, without much further ado, these are the books I bought myself for my birthday. So 2 that I have read already are the ones at the top here. And that is Boyfriend Goals and A Bone in His Teeth. A Bone in His Teeth is by Kellen Graves, and Boyfriend Goals is by Riley Hart. Riley Hart's book, this one, I've seen on a few people's lists, actually, recently, too. And I feel like I've seen this one on a few people's lists, too. 2 very different books. This one is contemporary. This one is, I could almost call it a historical novel set in, I think it's supposed to be like similar to our 1800s, and features, fantastical beasts such as merfolk and sirens. And I really liked both of them. It took me a little bit to get used to the writing in this one. It's just a different, I guess, than a lot of books I've read. It is dual POV between the 2 main characters, and this character here, Milo, is autistic, so he's also written in a very specific way, which I think is meant to represent kind of that way of thinking. And yeah, it was really cute. I really liked the way they handled the topic matter in this one. I think it was very respectful for my, just my judgment and opinion. And it helped me kind of understand that mindset a little bit more. And she does acknowledge sensitivity readers that she had. So yeah, all in all, I really enjoyed that one. It's a very cute, like, small town kind of, inherited a bookstore kind of thing vibes. And then this one was definitely a lot darker. It's just a darker world to begin with. There's themes like, abuse and torture and captivity and, like, cannibalism and, like, stuff like that. But the main character, the sailor, is also a trans man. So I really liked, they handled that in a very interesting way. And it was interesting to read, and I really liked it. But yeah, it was super cool. The writing is luscious in this one. And I'm like surprised this is not traditionally published. It's an indie publish. It very much has the chops to be a traditionally published. I mean, you can have horribly written books both ways and wonderfully written books both ways, but like beautiful writing. I very much am interested to see more by this author. Anyway, I spent a few more minutes on these two because I have read them, but really enjoyed these, and happily would read again. Yeah, so those are the ones that I've read. Sorry, my mouth is dry because I've had coffee, so I need to hydrate. Okay, so next ones. This one is a recent addition to my TBR, and I was just very struck by the cover. It's a beautiful cover. It is He Who Bleeds by Dorian Valentine, and it's like religious shenanigans. There's, I think, a supernatural aspect to it. Yeah, there's the incubus situation. And yeah, it seems like another kind of dark, weird, kind of supernaturally creature romance. I love that cover. I think that's beautiful. Yeah. So Dorian Gray quote in there as well. Where there is sorrow, there is holy ground, from the picture of Dorian Gray. Yeah. Really like that type face. Very gothic. The back is very pretty too. I don't know anything about the author, and I don't know anything about the book. But it was one of those things where I saw it on Instagram while I'm scrolling, and I'm like, yes, I would like to read that probably. So added that one to it. Ooh, this one. So this is another one of those books where I know I had a copy. I don't know where that copy is. Very much like Empress of the World. I wonder if my ex threw it away at some point because he was a fucking bigot. But yeah, so this is David Levithan, Boy Meets Boy. And I loved this book as a kid, and I surprisingly haven't read more of David Levithan. He's very, like, he's one of those pillar gay writers from, like, I would say, would it be like the late 90s, early 2000s? You know, when queer books were very much not the norm, and not as accessible. And it's like a high school story. I'll read the back because I think it's really sweet. This is the story of Paul, a sophomore at high school like no other. The cheerleaders ride Harleys. The homecoming queen is also the football team's star quarterback, and many of the queer kids have been out since elementary school. When Paul meets Noah, he thinks he's found the one his heart is made for until he blows it. The school bookie says the odds, I love that there's a school bookie. The school bookie says the odds are 12-1 against him getting Noah back, but Paul's not giving up without playing his love really loud. His best friend Joni might be drifting away, his other best friend Tony might be dealing with ultra-religious parents, and his ex-boyfriend Kyle might not be going away anytime soon, but sometimes everything needs to fall apart before it can finally fit together. I would love to, that sounds like such a good premise for a movie. I feel like this could be such an interesting movie, or maybe even like a short series, like a 1-season series. I don't know, but I love this book as a teen, a young queer teen, and I think the cover is really cool too. So very excited to have this back in my possession. And this seems like a really cute, like, summer read maybe. So I might save this for a little while. But yeah, Boy Meets Boy. Ooh, this one came in a hardcover. Does it have a fun inside? No, it doesn't. That's okay. Anyway, this is called Recommended Reading by Paul Coccia. I feel like you say that, Paul Coccia. I feel like that's maybe Italian. And this is, they're like high school students too, and then I think this is the main character, the cute little chubbier guy. And I think he's like the kind of guy who is obsessed with romance stories and meet cutes, and like doesn't realize that that doesn't really work in real life, and like bungles meeting somebody, and then gets like a second chance at romancing them or somebody else. I'm not gonna like read every single inside, but he ends up working at a bookstore, and I love good bookstore book. And then shenanigans ensue, as I like to say. But yeah, this one seemed really, really cute. So I'm like, yes, I shall add that to my list. And like, it's so cute. Look how cute they are. So cute. But yeah, that one I'm excited to read. This one is called The Full Moon Problem by Kay Clare. And what is this? Folk medicine, family tradition, werewolf stuff. I think one of them, the guy Felix, is trans as well. It does say, so when he turned 18 and started transitioning, and I'm assuming it doesn't mean transitioning into a werewolf, because the other character is the werewolf. But I feel like, was this the book? I think this was the book where somebody was describing it, and it had something to do with like fuck ICE and like that kind of anti-immigrant bullshit. I don't remember if that's correct. I might be very wrong. It might be another book that's in here. Anyway, werewolf lovers stuff, and I think they fuck in werewolf form, which, cool. I'm okay with that. Yeah, but that's the other one. Full Moon Problem, Kay Clare. This one's like a chunky one too. Oh, there's illustrations! I didn't even know that. That's so cute. I love illustrations in a book. No way. And they're like pencil illustrations. Who Oh, there's also a thing on the inside. Who did them? Was it the author? Or did they get somebody to draw it? Yeah, the author also illustrated it. That's so fun. Oh my god, that's such an exciting thing to discover. I got so excited about that. Cool. So that one has illustrations in it as well. Amazing. This one is Rough Pages by Lev A.C. Rosen. We are very familiar with Mr. Rosen. This is the third book in the Evander Mills detective series. I have the rest of them over here. I'm gonna have to make room because this one won't fit in there now. But yeah, this is the third one. I figured since I got the fourth one, I must get the third one so I can continue reading them. I've only read the first one so far. The Lavender House, which is very good. These are like historically accurate 1940s or 50s, I think. And unfortunately with all the homophobia that entails. But it still surrounds itself with queer characters, and, you know, as many moments of queer joy as there can be in that time period. And queer community. But yeah, very good. I have as much as there is in the series now. So I'm very happy about that one. This next one is the one where I'm like, it's not explicitly queer, but I believe the author has said that it is a queer normative world. This is a book I'm very excited to finally own because I have been listening to the podcast that the author is part of for a while now. It is the podcast called Writing About Dragons and Shit. And it has B. Dave Walters, Trevor, whose last name I forget, and Aaron M. Evans. This is Empire of Exiles. So this is a fantasy murder mystery. This is the first book. There is a second book. I don't know if there's a third book or any more planned in the series. I think it's supposed to be a trilogy. I'm not 100% sure. But the back, the kind of quick description on the back says, a scribe, a mage, an archivist, and an investigator. 4 unlikely heroes, a secret threatening an empire. So yeah, it's a fantasy world. The magic system is based on, I think like it's supposed to be like mental illnesses, something like that. And the community, the world they live in, it's like a bunch of different countries are forced to relocate to this one area and like live together because like of some, you know, stuff happening. But yeah, I've been listening to the podcast for a while now. I think I'm in the 70s number of episodes, and I think there is about 170 episodes. And they've been doing the podcast since like the Panini years. But yeah, so I have wanted this book for a long time. I finally got it, and I'm very excited to read that. Okay, and our next one is, it's from the series called Goliaths of Wrestling, and this one is, I believe, the first one, called Impromptu Match, and it's by Lily Mayne, and it is like a world where humans and monsters exist, and there is a wrestling group. I don't know what they're called, but yeah, it's I believe they are all some kind of like monster fucker kind of thing. In this one, a league. It's called a wrestling league. That's what it is. In the basement of the office building that the guy works in, there is otherworldly wrestlers. And then this one, I think, is the story of him and the owner of the wrestling league. And the bottom of this says, my previously boring life is suddenly no longer quite so average, and Hot as Hell Holt, which is like the owner guy, is inexplicably as interested in me and my ironed underpants as I am in him and his strange new world. This is one of those random ones that I saved in my list on Instagram. And my partner is kind of into wrestling, you know, like a childhood wrestling fan, and like still kind of watches stuff and whatever, and is trying to read more. So I figured maybe this is something that might pique his interest, and be a little like fun, silly, goofy kind of thing, and kind of hot probably, right? But yeah, so I got that one. This one is one I saw when I was, oh, I missed the table, in Aurelia, that indie bookstore or like small bookstore, Manticore, had this, and it seemed really interesting. It's called Tim Tomorrow and the Subterranean Heartsick Blues by H.S. Valley. And the back says, what happens when your enemy becomes your friend with benefits? Tim Tomorrow and Elliot Parker are in their final year at this high school for the magically adept. They both get dumped and they have to work together for the egg baby assignment, which I don't know where in the world they do this besides North America, but basically in like your family studies class or whatever, you have to like take care of a little egg like it's your baby and make sure it survives. In high school, we had like fake babies that you use, but like, you know, it's that idea. They are nemesis or whatever. And then when Elliot offers Tim a no strings attached hookup to help him explore his burgeoning bisexuality, Tim considers it. After all, they don't like each other, so what could go wrong? Yeah, so that seems fun. And I believe it is a Maori author, and that Tim Tomorrow is Maori as well. I believe that's the case. Yeah. It grew up in Waitemata Harbor in Auckland. Yeah. Cool. That's the author's first novel. But yeah, so that is something I'm very excited to read. I wanted that really badly when I saw it initially. I just realized, haha, there's an egg on the cover as well. And I love the coloring of this too. That's so pretty. Ooh, okay, so this next one is another one that I have wanted for a very long time. I follow this author and I'm like constantly liking their stuff, and I've wanted to buy the first of their series for a long time, and I finally have it. So, da-da-da-da, this is Loving Lee by Cozy Dubois. They have a series, I think 4 in total right now, and I think that's the full set, I believe. And this is the first one, and this is like disaster gaze found family stuff. So the first one, the little kind of tagline or whatever at the top says, the log line. When the quiet audio tech meets the magnetic new drag queen, their fling feels inevitable, but far more than their hearts could break. So yeah, Lee Jones is the one character, and then Antonio Flores is the drag performer. Sorry, I'm like scanning the back. That's probably not great visual content. But yeah, so it's them kind of trying to figure out if they work together or not, and the kind of side characters are the main characters in the preceding novels. And Cozy's talked a lot about how like the process was for figuring out the coloring and stuff for the covers, and I just love how they look. They're so pretty. Those like trade-off of colors between them is so cool, and I just think it's such a unique thing that really sets the covers apart from other books. So I'm very happy to finally own this. And on that same note, another author that I have been following for a long time and finally have their first book is As We Fall by Anya Welt. And yeah, this is set in like ancient, oh my god, I'm gonna mix up if it's Rome or Greece. I think it's Rome, ancient Rome. Yes, maybe? Hold on. That's very embarrassing. I think it's Greece. Anyway, ancient shenanigans. Yep. Anyway, ancient Greece or Rome, one of the two. I think it's Greece. I think it's Greece. Maybe it's Rome. I don't know. I'm going to stop talking about that because I'm embarrassing myself. But it is, more historical gay shenanigans. It's like the elected emperor, and I think someone that he hires as a lover or something. Yeah, mischievous lover. But yeah, so like there's political intrigue and like stuff like that. But yeah, these two I've wanted for a very long time. I've followed these authors for quite a while, and they've been on my list for so long. So finally got them. So very happy. If you don't follow them, follow them. They're a good time on Instagram as well. So we're almost on the box. This one was just like a random one that I thought looked really cute when I was like, I would like to spend more money. What else can I get? So this is called Dead and Breakfast. And this is a dual authorship. So this is Kat Hillis and Rosie Thor. And it's like they're a married older couple vampires. And they own a bed and breakfast, and it's like, it seems very like cozy cute, but it's also like a murder mystery, because the mayor is discovered dead in their begonias with 2 puncture wounds in his neck. With the help of a werewolf barista, the elven town coroner, and a very human city manager, Arthur and Sal will need to prove they aren't literally out for blood by catching a killer. I'm actually going to read the beginning of this, because the beginning of this is very cute as well. It says, married odd couple Arthur and Sal are totally normal. They wear sunscreen not because the sun can kill them, because even the undead need a skincare regimen. They eat garlic whenever they want, though it gives Sal indigestion. They can talk to creatures of the night, but only the raccoons that rifle through their garbage. Really, they don't bite, except into delicious baked goods. Ready to settle down and stay out of trouble, the two have opened a bed and breakfast in the idyllic, if not so paranormal friendly, town of Trident Falls, Oregon. And then it says what I first read. I just think that is so cute. I love an older couple story, or an older like romance. Not like 20-somethings or whatever, being the subjects all the time. So I just thought that would be very cute to read. And yeah, I just think that looks super fun. And I love the murder mystery. And this kind of supernatural element to it sounds really fun. So that just seems like a really fun read. The next ones are an author I have talked about before, another longtime follower on Instagram, and that is Mars Adler. I got another few of their books. So this one is Blood Orange, and this one is First Creation. This is the original print cover of First Creation. They do have a different version of it now, but I just really like this one. I just think that angel with the, is it oranges or peaches? Peach trees, yeah. Oranges, or peaches and the angel. And the back cover is really cute too. But yeah, and this one is oranges. So this is like a anti-capitalist horror thriller kind of thing. And this is like religious shenanigans with, who is it with? Amatel, an angel of God, and Stolas, a fallen angel turned spy. Enemies to lovers kind of thing. Yeah. So they are both ones that I want to read all of the stuff that Mars writes. They write some weird ass shit. And they're usually like very digestible little novellas. And not everything that they write is in print. Some of it is only in e-form, digital. But if I can get it paper, I like to get it paper. But yeah, so I have more of Mars Adler's books. And then the last one is another offering from Instagram that I randomly found. Has a very intriguing plot. And it's a very interesting premise. So it is a study of blood and ichor by Katya Black. And it is basically an MMF romance where one of the M's is the demon possessing the guy. And I read that and I'm like, I would like to know how that works. That sounds very interesting. So I'm like, I put it on my list and I was very eager to get it. And so I decided to get it for my birthday. And it's quite a chunky book. So like, shit happens in this book. I don't know what, but shit happens. Yeah, the cover is really cool. I really like that cover. Actually, I just realized it kind of matches As We Fall. That's interesting. Two hands reaching for each other. That's fun. I like that. But yeah, so that will be interesting to dig into at some point. But yeah, that is my very gay book buy for my birthday. Thank you for joining me on that journey. But yeah, I was just very excited to get some more gay ass shit books, because that's really my jam. I like reading all sorts of things, but like it really strikes a chord when it's something queer, especially queer joy. I think it's so important to have those books out in the world and easily available and accessible to whoever wants to read them. And they're just fun and sweet and hot. And, you know, I have read a lot of straight stories with straight characters and straight romances, and I'll continue to read those and consume that kind of media, because it's obviously still great and fine and amazing. But the more queer literature I can get and media and all that stuff, the better, honestly. And sometimes it just makes it easier to read, to be quite honest. But yeah, let me know if you've heard of any of these, read of any of these, would like to read any of these, would like to know my opinion once I've read them. As I said before in a video, I would like to do more like shorter form where I'm just talking about a book that I've read, or a couple that I've read. But yeah, those are my birthday books. Hope y'all are doing all right. I will try to get this up sooner rather than later, so it doesn't seem so far off from when it was originally my birthday. But we'll see. But yeah, thanks for joining me, and take care of yourselves, and happy holidays, because as of filming, we're just a few days away from Christmas. Okay. Bye.